welcome back. We are ready to move on to the next lesson. Okay, so we're gonna work on deco foliage. Okay, we're gonna work on painting on top of this grass layer some deco foliage to give our map some dimension. All right, I know it's hard to give dimension to a flat map, but it really helps. So I think this is the next logical step in the map making process, is to get the trees and the foliage out of the way first, because then you can go through when you're building the farms, you can just erase the stuff that is painted over where you would have roads or where you have had buildings. You just erase it. So it's good to just get this out of the way right now, so you're not buggering around with it later. So what we want to do, so for those of you who don't know, the deco foliage is located under here in foliage layer painting, and then deco foliage, and then you can choose a number of different deco foliages. Yours might say, if you're using my map file, it'll have the names for everything, but it might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you're using a different deco foliage file, or a different map file, I should say, or map i3D. Mine are all labeled. I like to have them all labeled. So okay, so let's just click on small alive. This is one that I like to use. Hold on, dog barking. Okay, so deco foliage, small alive is something that I like to use. You could use this instead of grass if you really want to, but it's a little bit weedier than this grass, and it's not cuttable. It's plowable, but it's not cuttable like this grass. So you'd click on your plant terrain foliage paint mode, you'd click deco foliage small alive, and you could just paint down like this, right? You could do that throughout the entire map. I like to use that. I like to use Cheno, whatever, I just call it Cheno. That is kind of a good one. Rumex, I really like that. That's kind of one that you'd like expect to see down by like in a really watery place. That might not be true, but I really like that one. Looks more like Minnesota weeds. Okay, so you could do that. You could go to, so bushes are located in a different group, bush 01, state 4, 1 through 4. You could use those. That's what 4 looks like. 1 is very small, like that. Okay, so that's a painstaking process, right? That takes forever. Why would we want to go throughout the entire map just painting, in areas where there aren't roads and there's grass and and you want deco foliage? Why would you do that when you can do it all through a script, right? We just run a script and just tell the script where you want it all painted, right? And just paint it and paint it so it's like all those different weeds are showing up, but like in random order, so it doesn't look like you're just painting like strips along the side of the road of those weeds. You can do that if you want. I prefer not to. Okay, so we're going to exit out of this, and we're going to work with the foliage script. Okay, so I should have included this file. If not, make sure to check the Discord. It might be in there. This is from the LS Mod Company site. This is what I use to paint my foliage, basically. Okay, so you're going to want to take the foliage creator script that's included with this file. You're going to want to go to, just like we added our other scripts, you're going to go %app data %. Okay. Let's see, I'm in users, Oberon, app data. That's probably where my GE or Giants editor is located. Yep, there it is. So Giants editor 8.2.2. You're going to go to the scripts file, and this is where you drop all your scripts. So when you go into the game and you want to run a script, this is where it's drawing that script from, basically. And you can edit the scripts in Giants editor. You just want to, drag and drop that in here. Okay. Let's see, where do I have it? There, it's foliage creator script. Okay, perfect. All right, so the next step is to prepare our map file to use this script. Okay, and it's going to seem a little complicated, but trust me, it's very, very straightforward. Okay, so you should have an info layer included. or a GRLE file. The info layers are all in GRLE format. We're going to go to map DE, and I'm just going to drag and drop fruit density in there. Okay, so this is different from the one where your grass is painted. Okay, that's fruit underscore density. Okay, that's going to be different. I'm going to drag and drop that in here. Okay, see here, go to maps. We're going to open the map in Notepad++. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down all the way down to, did I miss it? Here, I'm going to type for it. I'm going to type in Control F for layers. I want layers, right? Is it under oh goodness. Oh, there it is. Okay. Info layer, not type info layer, not layers. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go under info layers. I'm gonna take this tip call. Actually, we do farmland if you really want. Take farmland since it has more channels. Go down here underneath seasons and copy paste farmland. Okay, now we're gonna rename that. Let's go back to let's get that out of the way. Let's go back to our map DE where our new layer is located. Let's type in fruit density, exactly how it's spelled here. If you don't spell it exactly, it's not going to show up. Okay, so let me move that over there. Let's do fruit density. Okay, now this says 204. We don't want to draw from the weight file 204. We're gonna add like let's do like 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of channels, that's fine. That's not a huge deal. We're only gonna use 3 channels anyways. Okay, so fruit density. Cool. I'm gonna go look for let's go type farmland. Okay. Why can't I do a backwards search? Oh, because it's under regular expression. Let's click normal expression. There we go. Farmland GRLE. So remember, it's 204 plus 4 zeros on the end of it. So we're going to tell the file to distinguish between the two here. So I'm going to add 4 zeros onto the end of file ID 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that line that we just added below is going to reference this weight file. We've already added that in. So let's go change this. It's no longer farmland. Now it is fruit density, GRLE. All right, and we got 4 zeros, okay, on the end of that. The reason why we're doing some 4 zeros is because there's nothing in this file that's 204, 2 million for, whatever number this is, 204 with 4 zeros. Okay, you want it different from all these other numbers. If it's the same, then you're going to run into issues. Okay, so we have the file path correct, mapde/fruitdensity.grle. Make sure this file path is correct. All right, if you're following along with me and using the same file, then it should be correct, unless I'm absolutely doing this wrong. Okay, file save. Cool beans. Okay, we're not done yet. All right, so we got that added in. Let's check to make sure. Let's exit out of that. Let's go into reopen the map here real quick. Apologize for that. Probably, well, I needed to close out of it. Otherwise, the new info layer wouldn't show up. So no regrets, no ragrets. Okay, now let's go down to info layer painting. Okay, you're going to click on this blue pencil. Okay, you have tip call in here, and look at that, fruit density's in here now. It wasn't there before, but now it is. All right, and I'm just going to have 0 selected, info channels 0 selected here, and I'm going to add selected as well. And I'm just going to paint that down, and look. This is the info layer. Kind of drags. It's possible the image might be a little large. I like to use extra pixels on my extra pixels on my info layers, just to make it look nicer on the edges. So this is our fruit density. All right, we're not done yet though. Hold on. We are going to exit out of this. You don't need to save or anything. I didn't make any significant changes. Go into map, the tutorial map file again. Actually, I have it over here still. Okay, now we need to create a field dimension GRLE. Now it's there is one right here. That's fine. That'll do. I'm not sure if you guys will have it, so I'm just gonna like, I'll probably let's just. So we're gonna delete that quick. Okay, I'm just gonna delete this because I don't know if you guys are gonna have it. We'll just do it from scratch. Okay, so let's click on cultivator density.gdm here. Remember we created this with the PNG. We're gonna copy. Okay, if you edited the fields at all, it'll fall under the GDM file. The PNG is what we did in GIMP. If you whatever you edited in Giants Editor, if you edited the field edges or whatever, it's gonna show up under GDM. It won't show up under that PNG. Let's exit out of that. Let's go to GRLE convert. Okay, this should be included as well. You will find this on Giants software website. It's called the GRLE converter. You'll probably need an account with them to download it. Super, super useful tool. And take that GDM file or that cultivator density GDM. I'm gonna copy paste it into that folder, and then I'm gonna drag and drop over convert. Okay. Convert, saving, press any key. I press spacebar all the time. Okay, so now we have a PNG here of the cultivator density. That's good. It's in 4096 by 4096. I do not want it as 4096 by 4096. In fact, I want it as, let's open this up in GIMP first. I want it as 2048 by 2048. I know that's really weird. When we actually do field dimensions, we're going to have it as a higher resolute or higher pixels than that. But since we're running a script, the script needs a particular pixel size, and I hate that. But with this script, but you'll see what I mean here in a second. So I'm going to scale this image. Actually, I'm going to do colors first. First of all, I'm going to go open this in GIMP, go to colors, do value invert. Okay. So those are all our fields. They're all in red. That's neat. Okay, I'm going to do scale image, and I'm going to scale this down to 2048. Okay, I have this little chain link marked, so then, when I press tab, it'll automatically fill in here. And so I'm going to do the interpolation is going to be cubic. That's generally the best to do scaling with. It's not a huge deal. We're not going to get too picky with this image. We just want to tell basically what we're doing. I should tell you what we're doing. Is we're telling the script where our fields are. Okay, and we're saying, hey, even if I accidentally paint that info layer over top of the fields, don't paint anything in the fields. Okay. So it's just, and it won't run without this image too, which is unfortunate. Actually it will if you like just put in just a generic field dimension image and it's scaled to 2048 by 2048, it'll still work, but like, we're going to use this so that our trees don't fall in the fields either. So you're going to want this. Okay, so I'm going to go to the foreground color changer, 255 HSV. I'm going to do 1. Okay, we're going to change all of these to 1. Okay. So we got foreground color, similar colors here, just like we did with our fields when we first made them. It's all 1. Actually, no. Oh, goodness. Don't do that. We have one extra step here. We want, I apologize. I'm all over the place. We want to posterize. We want to posterize down to 2 colors. So what's happening, this is something I've noticed, is that when you scale stuff, a little red border will appear when we do that bucket fill. A little red border is going to appear, and we don't want that red border. I mean, it's not a huge deal for this, but like it's good practice for any time you scale an image. Make sure you posterize it down to only 2 colors, so it's just red and white instead of like this. Like it's red, and then on the edges of these fields, it's like a different red. It's weird. It's stupid. I hate it. So I'm just going to posterize really quick down to the 2 colors. Now, okay, so it's not 1. I apologize for that. It's going to be Oh no, it's going to be 1. Oh, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. So basically, these are all going to be labeled field 1. Okay, since these are field dimensions. If I make it 0, then it's not going to recognize any of them. 1 for all of these. I want to make sure. Do that. Now, instead of doing it this way, you could do it a faster way. You could do, I don't prefer this because sometimes it doesn't work. It doesn't actually recognize it, but you could use a map color exchange, and you could just color exchange all of these to 1. Okay, and then press OK. And then when I use this color picker tool, this should be, let's click on 0 here, and then I click here, it should go back to 1. Yep. Okay, so now they're all 1, like what do you would even call that, like 1 degree above like absolute black in this color coding scheme. I don't know what you would call that. Okay, so all black here. Let's click 0 now. Okay, set foreground, and then we're gonna we're still doing a bucket fill, similar colors here. Let's click on that white background. All right, don't panic. Okay, now we're gonna go to image. No, my goodness, I'm all over the place. Colors, components, decompose. We don't want decomposed layers. Don't do that. RGB, because that's how we colored it. Red, green, blue. It's going to give us 3 images. The one we want, since we painted in red, right? So this is, so look over here, RGB. It gave us RGB. We want the red one, because remember we changed this number. We changed the red number, okay? The rest were 0. Okay. All right, 2048, grayscale. Perfect. This is what GRLE images are, by the way. Every time you color something, you want to color it in, you want to color in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the info layer ID, and then you're going to color the background 0. Then you're going to decompose so that it comes out as grayscale, and then you can actually use it as a GRLE. That's just a general principle. Okay, you always want it in grayscale. Okay, so this process can be used for any layer. Okay, you want going forward. This general principle is going to be super important later on. Okay, so we're going to export this. Let's go to desktop. Let's go to tutorial map, maps, map.de. Now I'm going to name this field dimensions 1. Field dimensions 1, because we're going to be using a different field dimension file later on, and that's going to be the official field dimensions. Okay, field dimension 1. Okay, that's fine. Yep, export. Okay, I'm going to lower that, get this out of the way. I'm going to open my actual file. Apologize for being all over the place. This is kind of a funky way of field dimensions of doing things, and it's kind of all over the place. So I'm going to open the map in Notepad++. We're going to do the same thing that we did for the fruit density info layer. So I'm going to go to farmland. Don't want that. Let's go down here. Okay. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go down to where I put fruit density in. I'm going to paste. I'm going to do 204. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, but let's do 205. Make it different. Make sure we have the same number of channels. Let's go in a backward direction. Find that again. Copy. Paste. And let's see, that was field dimensions, right? I renamed it, right? I didn't rename it. I'm stupid. Field dimensions 1. There we go. Backward direction. Same process. Again. Okay. This is 205, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change the name, make sure we have the name correct. Recheck your work, field dimensions 1. Okay. Let's do that. Field dimensions 1. Perfect. Save. Should show up. I believe that is all the work we need to do in order to run the script. So now we can finally start playing around with the script. Okay, open the map. Take a swig of coffee. Go down to info layers. Field dimensions is in there. Not field dimension 1. Okay, what did I do wrong? Field dimensions. Oh, it's in a PNG format. Ah, shoot. I'm sorry, guys. Let's exit out of the map here. Ugh. I don't want to have to redo this lesson. Okay, let's go down here. It's as a PNG. All right, we saved it as a PNG, not as a GRLE. It's a PNG. Okay. Field dimensions 1.png. File save. Okay. Okay, that's correct. Let's open the map again. The other one was just it was already in GRLE format, so we did not have to write down PNG instead of GRLE in that info layer. There it is. Now it shows up. Okay, we just needed to change it to what it actually was. Okay, so field dimensions, I'm assuming if we click this, there they are. So that's what we painted in Giants Editor, or Giants Editor in GIMP. Okay, I need more coffee, I'll tell you. Okay, so we're going to switch to fruit density. I'm just going to paint, let's do next to one of these darker fields, because it'll probably be a lot more noticeable. I'm going to paint along it. I'm going to overlap just a little bit. Let's say I'm getting a little sloppy. Okay, there we go. Getting a little sloppy, and then I'm going to do file save. Okay, there's two things you need to do here for save, like the reason why you need to save. One, the PNG field dimensions now are going to be converted from PNG to GRLE, and Giants Editor will now, when you open the map, prioritize the GRLE image over the PNG. All right. The second is every time you paint on that info layer, you need to save it before you run a script. Okay, the script's always going to be referencing the most updated image in your map DE folder. And if you're not saving after you're done painting, it's just going to consider it blank. Okay, because it's just going to be a blank image as far as it's concerned. But when you save it, it updates that image and it's going to show what we just painted, which was this little line here. Let's go to Windows Script Editor. Okay, find your script under user. Field dimensions, not field dimensions, foliage creator. We'll get to field dimensions eventually. Okay, now the fun part begins. This is foliage creator Lua. Okay, we need to get our file paths correct here. This is the file path part, fun part. Make sure, okay, so basically we need all of this to be the same. So I'm gonna look at, I'm gonna look up here. Let's see. Up here, my map is located at Users Oberon Desktop Tutorial Map, Maps. Okay, so let's start with that. Users Oberon Desktop. Pay close attention to this part because I always screw up my this part because there's so many different things that are titled, capitalized and whatnot. I always screw it up and I don't get my file path correct. Tutorial map, maps. Okay, and I need to go one step further to map DE. That's where the images are located. Okay, that's where fruit density GRLE is going to be located. Okay, so which is right here, map DE / map DE. Okay, make sure these slashes are going the right direction too. For this script, at least foliage, I believe the different scripts, the slash is set to be going the other direction, which is really stupid. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this. Okay, so this should, extra slash there. So this should be correct. This should be basically what this line is right here, right? Users, actually could have copy pasted this now that I'm thinking of it. I'm an idiot. Users, Oberon, desktop, tutorial maps, map.de, and then you type in whatever GRLE is your fruit density, which is this. Perfect. We did that already. Fantastic. Now I'm just going to copy that line. All right. Super simple stuff. It's so straightforward. It's just copy and pasting stuff, right? Okay. Now I have this as field dimensions 1. There we go. Now we can save the script if you really want to, so you don't have to do all that work again. All right. This is what I use. Bits, fruit density, GDM5. I believe this is standard. All of these numbers are standard for the script. I think the script comes in like this. I'm not sure. But if not, just copy what I have right here. Okay. Okay, let's move down to foliage state. So remember when we looked at the different foliages that we can paint, you know, how bushes were in a separate group and the grass is in a separate group and all that deco foliage. Okay, these correspond, this list 1 through 11 corresponds to this list in Giants Editor, this list right here. Okay, and like I said, I only use, you know, a couple of these. Okay, so down here are layers. Okay, we can paint in 3 layers. We can paint for so that's what that's referencing, that list, by the way. Okay, so now these are our layers. Okay, I typically just paint in 1 layer and do it all at once, but you can paint for like forests. You can paint under a different layer, so you can do so let's go to fruit density. Okay, so now I want to paint a different layer. So layer 3, so 1 is layer 2. So let's say I wanted to paint this layer for forests only. Okay, and you wanted to generate like a certain, like bushes, you know, like you just wanted bushes painted under the trees, right? You would switch to this layer. Okay, but if we don't need it right now, I'm painting everything on 1 layer. I do not care. Okay, go back to the script. I always paint on my grass layer. Okay, walled means forest. Grass deco is the 3rd layer. You'd switch this to 0, 1 if you wanted to paint on grass deco. Who cares? I always do it on this layer. Okay, so grass states. Now these numbers right here are referencing these numbers up here. Okay, so 3, foliage state 3. Which one is that? Let's go up to deco foliage. 3 is small alive. Okay. 7 should be Cheno. 8 should be Rumex. And 10, wait, no. Let's see, 7 should be Cheno, 8 should be Circium, and 10 should be Rumex. Okay, that's what I use. You might want to use different combinations of these. You might even add, like, you know, put a comma here. I think when you guys receive the script, well, you're going to be receiving the script from me, so that doesn't really matter. It's going to look like this. So you might like want to paint bushes along with this. So you might do comma 12. Okay. And then comma 13, you know, you want a combination of different bush sizes. Okay. Or let's see, let's get rid of that comma. Or you want to paint, we've already painted our grasses through GIMP. So this isn't like, you don't need to do this, but you can do this at 19 or 16 on the end of it. Doesn't matter. Any combination works. Just make sure they're in order. From 1 to 10, you know what I mean? Numerical order. Okay, so I think we got everything set up correctly here. No changes here. Yep, enable layer paint, true. That's good, that's all good. So what's going to determine the thickness of the painted layer? Local max factor. Okay, this is set to 9 million. I'm going to tone it down to like 1, let's do 2 million. Okay, I have all these numbers the same over here. I'm going to tone that down to 2 million. This is how like dense the foliage is being painted. If you want it more sparsely painted, then you're going to lower max factor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to execute the script. Yeah, that's fine. Now I should be able. Yep, you always if you've painted your entire map, this takes a long time to run, as it's going through and it's painting all of that foliage down for you. Okay, I'm gonna lower that. Let's check to make sure it worked, and look at that, it worked. I'm a genius. So it's pretty sparse, but I think this is a little too much. You would you can paint over this again. You can paint over this again with grass, or you can go back in and make sure you can go back into the script. Actually, let me show you that quick. You can go back to script editor. Oh, we already have it open, and you could just like let's say, oh, I screwed up, I want that as grass. I think the max grass state, grass big, yeah, grass cut is 5, grass big is sorry, it would be 19. So let's switch that back down to 19. Okay. Now I'm gonna execute. Should paint grass back. Okay, I gotta wait. Apologies. Script always takes a while to run, even with that. Okay. So look at that. It painted the grass back over top of it. There's a few little splotches here, but that's all right. So let's go back into the script editor. Now I want to paint it. I want it, a little bit. Let's make this, let's see, this is 2 million. Let's make this like 900,000, a local factor 900,000, and then let's do 3, 7, 8. Oop, that's not an 8, and 10. Okay, let's execute. Yeah, I don't care about save. You don't have to save it, by the way. Okay, give it a chance to run. Go down here. Okay, it's a little bit sparser, so you just keep bringing that max factor down a little bit gradually at a time, and it's gonna continue to get sparser and sparser. Okay, so you're gonna run this throughout your entire map, or in places where you want weeds, and this will always, always make sure you're saving after you've painted down this info layer. Make sure you're always saving. This should be fruit density 0. There we go. Also, if this doesn't show up, like click up here, and now these boxes, now you can click in them. I don't know why that glitch happens, but it does. If you want to go to this layer without changing anything down here, just go Control R, and now now I can paint in that layer. That layer is always going to show up. Your selected layer is always going to show up as white. Okay. Perfect. All right, that's the foliage creator script. Now we can move on to now that we've got all that work finished, we can do the tree creator script if we want. We're going to create an entirely different info layer for the trees. Some people just use the fruit density layer that we created, but I don't agree with that. I think you should create a separate layer for the tree. But now that we got field dimensions finished, at least for the script purposes, we can run the tree script. Super easy. Okay, so this is the end of the foliage script. I'm glad things went relatively smoothly. All right, so let's move on to trees. And then we can finally start putting roads into the map and kind of bringing the map to life. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. And I'm going to have more coffee, I promise. I'm going to have more coffee, and it's going to be a lot better. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.